Hey, this is Tom from AB Split Test, and today I'm going to give you a guide on how to split test to success. And we can use a little bit of AI to make it even easier and more repeatable and more process driven. So, where are we going today? We're going to learn what split testing, CRO, all that stuff is. And we're going to get a playbook going for repeatedly creating tests and conversion optimization strategies that work. I use this in my agency, and you can use it in your agency, or you can be your own agency client if you're a business looking to optimize their WordPress. So where did we start? I built a website agency in the MSP or IT space, helping IT service providers get online without being quite so unapproachable, I guess, is the service we offer. Now, as a service, that's pretty great, but once the websites are up and running, we were pretty standard sort of website management service. So what I wanted to do was improve my customers' conversion rates, because if they make more money because of me, they're going to stay with me. I wanted to manage the customers better. Sometimes I had weird requests and things like that were a bad idea, and it was kind of easy to explain, but sometimes people were just convinced. I wanted to increase my agency stickiness. I didn't want people to be able to just leave and go to any other WordPress host out there, GoDaddy, and just be just as good. I wanted to add something that other people don't add or can't add. I wanted to reduce my dependency on Google and Facebook ads and things like that. And one of my strategies in that sort of mode is to make more money with less traffic. So less paid traffic, less dependency on Google places, Google ads, Facebook ads, social media, all that kind of stuff. Just to be as effective as I could on the stuff that I could control. And I don't know, as I've gotten old, had kids, privacy seems to be a thing that I care about now. So I didn't really want to be a data scraping company. I wanted to just collect as little information as possible to help people improve their business. So one day I went down the conversion optimization rabbit hole, tried all the tools. Nothing was really doing it for me. So I started building my own. And months later, we've got A/B split test. Years later, we've got a great product. So what the hell is CRO? And what's that got to do with split testing? Conversion rate optimization is the whole process of improving your website. It's a common mistake that you just want to split test your website or something like that. Really, what you want to do is do some conversion rate optimization. The first step being analyzing what you've got. Second step is creating some theories. And the third step, the final step, is the actual split testing. So when you think split testing, it's more important to actually think conversion rate optimization. You see a lot of people out there that say split testing doesn't work, yada, yada, yada. And I'm guessing that a lot of them have just jumped straight to the third step of the CRO. So they haven't optimized their conversion rate. They've just split tested something, and then they say it doesn't work. What we're going to talk about today is the repeatable steps for CRO. So we're going to find real problems, not our own fabricated problems with our own biases. We're going to find real problems with a simple process. We're going to suggest some solutions. We want to basically figure out how to get more leads, more bookings, more calls, whatever it is. We're trying to improve that. And we improve that by improving our funnel. We're going to test those solutions once we've come up with some ideas, and we're not going to get in the way of the facts. We're going to let science tell us what is better and what is worse. Then we're going to implement it and repeat. You can see in there's not a whole lot of feelings or creativity needed. It's just a repeatable process, which is great for an agency. If you've got a big team working for you, just send them this video, and they'll be able to get 90% of the way. What's this got to do with AI, you may be saying? Well, other than being a great buzzword that people love to hear about, AI is a shortcut out of your own bias. Now, what that means is when you're creating tests and doing conversion rate optimization, you have to have a theory. When you have a theory, you then need to test the theory. And to test the theory, you need multiple alternate variations of the same sort of thing. So Using AI, all of a sudden, it's not your copywriting, it's not your button text, it's not yours. It's just suggested to you out of the Google Cloud or wherever it comes from. So when you try and do a split test, sometimes you believe that people want to click a buy now button. So you create a test, and deep down in there, you create a really nice buy now button, and then you create a pretty average checkout button. Without knowing it, you've already spoiled your test before it's even begun. So that's why I like the AI portion of things here. We just say, we want to get more checkouts. The AI spits out some stuff for us to try. So yeah, big fan of AI. Now, of course, you can use a copywriter, or you can just use your own copywriting skills to come up with variations. But if you're doing this a lot, especially if you're an agency owner, you can get kind of stuck saying the same thing over and over again. So again, that's just another reason why the AI can freshen things up a bit without you doing too much extra work. All right, so like I was saying, most people start off on the third step of split testing, but not you, not us. We are going to start off right. So again, most people start with an idea, and the idea is often wrong. So let's make sure that we're testing the very, very right thing from the start. A lot of people think, maybe I need to change my footer to have more buttons, when really no one's even getting to the footer of your website because your content isn't compelling. So you go and create a test in your footer, and then no one's actually even getting that far down. You've just wasted your time. Split testing sucks. It doesn't work. Wrong. You've just started off incorrectly. What you're going to do, what we're going to do, is we're going to go through these very simple steps here. We're going to ask for problems. Crazy. Get some feedback from your visitors, from your customers, and you might be surprised what you hear. And then the next thing is we're going to watch for problems. After we've watched people use the website, you can see things that are going wrong, see anything that they might be missing, and then you can theorize on a solution. But without asking for problems, finding out what people are struggling with, and then watching for problems, watching what people are struggling with, or watching what people are inadvertently missing entirely, only then can you create a theory is going to be worth testing. As my man Michael Jordan says, get the fundamentals down and everything you do will rise. Maybe not with split testing, you'll probably always get some losers, but if you get the fundamentals down right and you get a solid process, you will almost always have a test that improves your conversions in some way. Normally you can get some sort of uplift from a well put together A/B test. The very first thing you can ask is, did you find everything you needed today? What could we have done better? Is there anything I can help with? These three questions really just make it so easy for people to just respond very quickly and easily. Yes, I found everything I needed today. No, I didn't find anything I needed today. What could we have done better? What's your pricing? Where is your updates? Where is the change log? Do I need to book you in weeks in advance? Can I pay by credit card? Whatever these questions are, these are the gold questions. These are things that you either have on your website and are missing, or they're things that you don't have on your website at all, and you might need to create. What could we have done better is also another way of people expressing their frustrations, it being a closed conversation. If people are struggling with your search on your website or something like that, a lot of the time people will happily answer, what could we have done better? Your search could suck a bit less. Next up from that is seeing your users having problems. Hopefully now you've got some feedback from your customers on things that they would like to see. Next, you want to try and see what people are having problems with without them even knowing it. So that's why I love Microsoft Clarity. It's a completely free tool by Microsoft. Just install a snippet on your website and it gives you great analytics, heat maps, all sorts of things like that. Let me pull up a preview. Here we go. So not a plug for Microsoft Clarity, but a plug for Microsoft Clarity. This is on our managed website. So once you've got this snippet installed, you can check out recordings and heat maps mainly for your users. So you can click through and you can speed it up for hastiness' sake. But you can see people's mouse movements and scrolling around on the website, seeing what they do. So you can see individuals using your website here, and then you can also go to heat maps as well. Heat maps gives you a good sort of aggregated look at what people are doing on your website. So we'll take a look at this pricing page here. And now we're looking at this pricing page here, we can see what people are clicking and see what people are missing. Not many people are clicking through to our DIY solution. And you can see here people have got a lot of interest in making routine updates to their website and canceling and contracts, but they're not so interested in when they get charged or the difference in the plans. So that's some interesting information that we've gotten from Microsoft Clarity. Anyway, jumping back, we can do similar things with other programs and apps. So we don't have to use Microsoft Clarity. You can use pretty much any analytics program. Google Analytics, Fathom, Mathemo, Plausible, all great options. And one of the things you want to look for is scroll depth and click-through rate. So if you have a website that has low click-through rate, or if people aren't scrolling very far down the page, then maybe you want to focus on moving your information up higher or being more compelling above the fold to encourage scrolling. Obviously, there's in real life ways of watching people do similar to what Microsoft Clarity do. You can buy people a coffee or just ask them for a few minutes of their time and set up a screen share and watch them use your site or whatever they are using. Sit next to them at a coffee shop, buy them a coffee, ask a stranger, could you use this website? Could you make a booking on it? Obviously, I would never do that because the idea of approaching someone at a coffee shop sounds like torture, but maybe you are not me. What to look for? People not scrolling down through your information, people doing flick scrolling. When people think they know everything, they'll do that flick on their mouse on the screen with their thumb on their mouse wheel. They just flick straight down and they'll miss all the important information. Click rage or tap rage, if people are tapping and zooming and stuff a weird amount, it's normally an indication of frustration and there's something that's wrong. Just other weird behavior like click rage is also another red flag. If you end up on a sitemap of a website somehow, obviously something's gone wrong in the funnel. And navigating the wrong way through the funnel. If you get all the way to the checkout and then you end up back at the home page and then the pricing and then back to the checkout and back to the home page, something weird is going on. And here's an important tip. Some things are just so obvious that you can just fix them straight away. Split testing is a great way of getting a concrete number on an improvement. If something's already working well, obviously you need to make sure it's working better. That's when split testing is really handy, or if you're not sure. If something's really obvious, like people are just clicking a button that's taking them to the wrong spot, that's got nothing to do with anything, you don't have to split test it. You can just fix these problems right away. If it's an obvious problem, just fix it and then go back to the beginning of this whole process again and start looking for some more problems. So don't feel like just because you're halfway through the process that you've got to split test it and get the results at the end. We don't have to do that if it's obvious. Obvious is obvious. The next step is to theorize. The easiest way to explain this is just to show an example of what's happening on our site. On A/B split test, people don't always want to launch a demo. People sometimes think demos are Zoom calls or book me in a calendar or enter your credit card, something like that. So let's show you what we're talking about. Here's the footer of our website, and this is the call to action that we display on every page, pretty much, except pricing pages, etc. So we'll go up here and split it back to the original, which is this one. Test it yourself. Fire up a free sandbox site and see why hundreds of professionals choose A/B split test. Try now. So some people were thinking that was a demo. So we thought this here is kind of leading people the wrong way, because we know in our funnel that once someone tries a demo, they're much more likely to buy the plugin or to sign up to our email newsletter. So let's swing on back. Yeah. All right. So the problem area is the footer CTA. People don't click. Now, the way that we found this was people were asking us if there was a way they could try the software in our live chat software. They were saying, can I try the software? And we said, yeah, you can try it here. And they said, oh, I don't want to sign up. And, you say, oh, no, it's no sign up. Just click the button to go. There was a lot of friction there, apparently. We then verified that. We used Microsoft Clarity, and you could see the little mouse movements of people hovering over the button and then moving on. hovering over the button and then going down to the docs or the pricing or whatever. And that's really just because they weren't too sure. They didn't want to click it. They didn't want to commit yet. So the idea that I came up with was to try some different footer calls to action that aren't as commitmenty, things that seem a little lighter and easier. Obviously, after you've come up with a test idea, you've got to figure out how to measure it. And that is where a conversion or a goal comes in. Generally, it's best to keep things very simple in life. Keep your goals simple. If you're an e-commerce site, maybe your objective is to sell more products, or your objective is to get more upsells or more items per cart or something like that. If you focus on making more money, that might work, but you generally want to focus on measurable business goals. So if it's an e-commerce product, more items in the cart, or maybe you're just focusing on getting people into the email list. If it's some sort of product like A/B split test, I want you to watch the demo video. I want you to try the demo out. I want you to give us your email so that we can send you more helpful information on conversion optimization, which will then lead to a purchase. So in our example, we want to measure clicks through to the demo because we're trying to improve the demo step of our funnel. All right, you see how much work we've done, how much thought we've put in, and now we're starting to think about testing. So again, just to be repetitive, it's really important to spend a lot of your time thinking before you start to create a test, before you choose a tool, before you do anything. Find some problems, find some solutions in your mind, and then let's try. So there are a number of different solutions. A/B split test is not the first. I think we're the best if you're a WordPress agency, but there's also Google Optimize, which is free. There's Crazy Egg, Split Hero, Neilio, all good solutions that you can use on WordPress specifically. But I believe A/B split test, my plugin, is the most simple and user-friendly. But enough of the plugs. Grab whatever your test software is. But what we're going to do is we're going to create a new test, and we're going to test out different footer calls to action. And our conversion event will be when people click through to a demo. So let me grab the website here. Cool. The variations is where the AI creativity comes in, just gets you in a different mindset. You don't have to think about it. That's what I love. Here we go. So here is the footer here. We're using Beaver Builder, but obviously do whatever you want. A/B split test works with anything inside WordPress. This is a Beaver theme part, so this displays on the footer of every page. So that also makes it handy to get a good bit of visibility. Okay, now you see we've already got this test running here. So each row is its own test variation. You just go advanced, and this is the test that we've already created. So this first one, we're calling it try it yourself. The second one here, sample data. And then the third option here is interactive demo. They're all just different ways of trying to get people to try out our demo. The first two were written by yours truly. Test it yourself, fire up a free sandbox site and see what happens. Try A/B split test with sample data. I saw another company using this terminology that seemed like it was a good way of helping explain that you were doing sample data, you weren't doing any commitments, it was just sort of popping in and out. So I like that. Beyond that, I was getting a little bit stale. So I came up with this interactive demo idea. Yeah, it's a bit dull. So what we'll do is, instead of using our own creativity, which, come on, we don't have the time for this, why don't we use AI? Here we have it. We've installed Bertha AI, a great new WordPress plugin that gives you AI copywriting generation right inside the builder. So you'll see here we've created an extra row, again, just to tag it in A/B split test. We just tag it down here, so we'll just call this AI1. And now all we need to do is change the content. We're trying to send people to the button, so let's do a button call to action. And a description in our own words. Okay, launch free sandbox. I don't know anymore. What are we saying? bring up the demonstration. Let's see. Try it out now, risk-free. Do I love it? Do I love the first suggestion that they make? I think I kind of do. Let's do it. Try it out risk-free. Beautiful. And for the content, we can do a product description, I think they call it here. Yes. Try it risk-free and see how much you can save on your conversion rate optimization. Love it. Let's do it. All right, done. So you see there, we've got another completely different version. I didn't have to use my brain at all. I just saw a version that I liked, which is really more of a feeling than brain work, you know. And yeah, that's it. We've done it. So now we've got a fourth variation in our test, and we can let that run and see what happens. I'll just show you what that looks like now that it's created. And down here we go. We've got test it yourself, but we can also jump over to AI version 1. Try it out now, risk-free. Cool. Our conversion we set to the clicking of the button. All right, now we've done that, we can wait and watch. Well, let's bring that back up again. All right, so this has been running for not very long, so we don't have enough information. We've got no information on our fourth test variation. But basically, any good conversion rate optimization split testing software is going to show you what your different test versions do. They're going to show you how many visits you get and your conversion rate. So we like to keep it nice and simple. That's what you see. When there's more traffic and more conversion rates, we do the hard statistics to tell you what the chance is of winning. When it's a 99% chance of winning, we got a winner. So instead of doing stats or waiting for that, just wait for the email that'll come. And then you know when your test is complete. So now that's all done, we wait and we watch. Now some things to note about split testing and conversion rate optimization in general is it can take time. It can take weeks, not days. Life is quite cyclical. A lot of stuff happens on the week that doesn't happen on the weekend. A lot of stuff happens at the end of the month or the start of the month that doesn't happen at the start of the week or something like that. So it's important to let tests run for long enough to be able to gather all that fluctuated data. You don't want to have to change your website at the start of every month to improve conversions. You just want to have a strategy that's going to work all the time. So let it run for a few weeks, a few months. It doesn't really matter. As long as your tool lets you have as many tests running as you want, why not let them run for a while? Again, with a tool that knows what to be looking for, once it has enough information, it will implement the winner for you straight away. So it doesn't really matter if it takes 2 months or 3 weeks or 1 week. As long as you're implementing the winner straight away, all your customers will begin seeing the improved version of your website straight away. So it's an important step to actually implement the winner rather than just to pat yourself on the back that you found the winner. And don't jump the gun. Sometimes you'll just happen to get a couple of orders or a couple of demo bookings that have seen one variation and you think it's a landslide victory straight out of the gate. Can't believe it. You've got a 40% conversion improvement rate. You're going to get a promotion. You're going to retire in 3 weeks. Don't jump the gun. It can take time. These fluctuations are fluctuations and they even out over time with traffic and with volume. So you need hundreds of visits to your site, thousands a lot of the time before you can make a sensible decision. And then once you think you have a sensible decision again, make sure it's actually significant. It's best to do the numbers or to use a tool that does do the numbers, because just choosing one that seems to convert more might not actually be enough information yet, even though it looks good. And that's it. Good luck. The AI from this demo is thanks to Bertha. It's built in WordPress AI. Click a text box, click Bertha, tell her what you're writing. Booyah, you've got some content. I love it with my WordPress plugin, A/B Split Test. You can create your variations. You can split test pages, Beaver Builder, WordPress blocks, Oxygen, Bricks, Elementor, anything like that. Whatever you do in WordPress, You can split test it site-wide, on single pages, posts, anything at all. You can use absplittest.com and use Page Builder 4 for 20% off any A/B split test plan. Now, if you're interested, here's what some people are saying about A/B split test. My favorite is there's too much data in marketing. This helps me focus on one thing without distraction. And that was entirely the reason why we built A/B split test, was that you don't need as much information as people are telling you. It can be simple, it can be easy, it can be repeatable, and it can be fast. We make sure that it's really quick and easy. And of course it works. Whether you split test with A/B split test, Google, or anyone else, obviously, split testing does work when done correctly. So this is just one example of someone that improved their demo conversions 10%. If you think about what a demo is worth to a service business, maybe that's $500, and that's just improved 10%. So those are huge changes that stick forever and just constantly allow you to keep improving. Thank you. Use code PageBuilder4 for 20% off any A/B split test plan, or come on over to absplittest.com and send us a message if you have any questions. Thanks.